A little bit of oil to make it, but stick around because it's gonna get real. Okay, so let's get started with the good stuff. A lot of recipes call for doing chicken and things in a stock and then pulling it off the bone. I myself think you build flavors in the pot, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. We're going to just take this leftover chicken skin and cook it. You sear things, it adds another level. I mean, I know this is probably not a traditional way of doing the gumbo itself, but every time you roast something, every time you sear something, every time you add something into a pot, it adds a flavor. And I know I may beat a dead horse, but I firmly believe in the end result, it's the better way of cooking. Okay, we've got our chicken skins rendered. We're going to take these out. Looks like it's going to be a good snack. Our leg quarters. So when we go in to make our roux, we already have 4 flavors in our roux, which is something that if we had done this, we would have been skimming the fat off the top, pouring it out, not utilizing it. This way, we're utilizing every flavor we have. We took all the other things to make our what we call our loving goodness pot, or our stock pot, which is all going to go back into this. So this is just another element of what? Building a flavor. Building levels. We don't have to cook this all the way. I'll sear this for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. And then we'll set it to the side. Our next flavor, andouille sausage. We're just going to take this, sear it off just like we did everything else. Another level of flavor. So we just keep building on the flavors. Okay, we've seared our andouille for about 2 or 3 minutes. We're going to take this out. And you may not think doing these little steps are important, but it really is the difference between an and a oh when you're making something. We're going to add our kielbasa in here as our last flavor. I'm going to cook this for about another 2 or 3 minutes, just enough to release some of the flavors out of the oil. As you can see, we're building up nice flavors on the bottom of our pan, and then we'll make our roux out of this. So we're going to have like a 4 flavor roux compared to just a 1 flavor roux. And then when we're going to add our vegetables, it'll be a 7 flavor roux. And it all adds up in the long run. Alright, let's take out our kielbasa. Which is going to be the last flavor of our roux. Now the one thing we won't do is we won't sear the shrimp off ahead of time because they cook so fast and they'll get tight and tough if you do it too well. We've got our sausage done. Now we're going to add just a touch more flour to this, or a touch more oil to this. Start adding in our flour. Give it a stir. So don't be scared if there's little particles. It doesn't matter. It's all going to come together in the end. And all this stuff on the bottom, it's going to be love and goodness. That's going to come. Now we're going to take our roux to a brown level. So as you cook, there's different levels of roux. A raw roux is the beginning, or a white roux. Second level is a brown or a blonde roux, and that's when you start stirring and you get all that little nuttiness and everything else. Start smelling that nuttiness in it. That's the second level. The third level is a brown roux, and that's just when the flour itself starts turning brown. You do not want to leave this roux, because if you do, you're surely going to burn it. I'm scraping the bottom as I do this to get all those flavors off the bottom. If they don't come now, they'll come later when we start adding the stock and everything else to it. And maybe this is not the most traditional way of making a roux, but I firmly believe that you're going to have flavors in here that you would not have had any other way. So alright, we have a nice brown roux now. Took about 15 minutes or so to do. I'm going to add our vegetables in. I say vegetables. This is your holy trinity. It does not have your garlic in it. So we're going to start cooking this in our pot. So we're going to let this cook for about 3 or 4 minutes. Alright, so we've let our vegetables cook. We're going to add our garlic in right at the end. Give it about 30 seconds. And then we're going to start adding liquid from our love and goodness pot. So I'm just going to start straining some of this out. Now we will add a little bit more of chicken stock, but we're utilizing all the flavors that we can possibly utilize. So I'll go in and get the rest of that. Get the stock out. God, look at that. Rich. So we're adding a little bit of the broth at a time. Back into straining our stock. And I want you guys to feel good about yourself because you utilized every part of your cooking. You wasted nothing in the process. And that's what it's about. Look at that, y'all. I wish you could smell this. It's chickeny, stocky, shrimpy. So good. Alright, so we've utilized most of our stock. I'm going to give this one more quick strain. And I think we've got just about all of it out. Alright, we're going to add some of our chicken stock. We're starting to build more and more flavors. Our sausage. Alright, we added our chicken that we seared into the pot. I'm going to give this a stir, let it come up to the simmer, and then we're going to add our seasoning. Alright, let's add our seasonings. A little touch of Creole. 3 bay leaves. Time. Give it a stir. We'll cover this and let it marry, let it simmer, and we'll be back. Shh! Don't tell anybody. Little Worcestershire. Those I recommend putting in while nobody else is around. Alright, we got a good simmer going on. I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes to this. Oh, that looks so good. Nice simmer going on. I'm going to wait a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how to hide and disguise okra from kids. Alright, we're going to take our frozen okra. Our okra, and I don't know, it's called fried in the slime out. So we're going to cook this for about 18 to 20 minutes and cook our okra, and hopefully that's going to get the slime and stuff out, and then we'll add it to our Creole. Ground our okra and we cook the slime out of it. As you can see, it's pretty sturdy. We're going to just take this and just add it to the pot. This is a great way to add okra, and it's also very kid friendly because they'll never know what's in there. I've chopped parsley and green onion. We're going to add it into our pot. And I also peeled and deveined our shrimp. We're going to add this in. And I'll let this simmer for about 5 or 10 minutes. we're gonna have gumbo.